In the heart of Toronto, Canada, at a boarding school called Upper Canada College, a young man was fulfilling his destiny.
I had an idea that we could just lay the antenna flat on the roof, and we could have a series of pulleys, and from my window, you pulled down on the pulleys, and the antenna came straight up, and we could watch Buffalo channels. That was the beginning of Rogers Cable.
Ted Rogers was born in the spirit of invention. In 1924, Ted's father, Edward S. Rogers, invented an alternating current tube for radios. That meant radios could be powered by electricity instead of heavy, leaky batteries. Edward Rogers also owned a radio station. 19 days before Ted Rogers turned 6, Edward Rogers died suddenly, and the family lost the business.
So my mom urged me to try and concentrate and get the family back in communications.
Toronto Soft Rock, 98.1 CHFI.
Ted started in 1960 buying CHFI radio. He was one of the first to use the FM band.
The surest way to get him to push on anything is to tell him it can't be done.
In 1966, Ted jumped into cable TV.
There's no industry like the cable industry in terms of, because we don't compete with one another, affection for each other, of working together, of being proud to be a cable guy.
And he's a perfect example of our neighboring country where they duplicated many of the businesses and ideas that we had here and even improved upon them.
By the 1980s, Rogers ventured into the U.S., operating systems from Portland, Oregon to San Antonio.
CFMT, Canada's first multicultural television.
Today, Rogers Communications brings diversity to cable.
That Friday night game will be fun to watch.
Rogers owns the Toronto Blue Jays, a network of radio stations, magazines, wireless, video stores, and broadband. He's innovating with digital cable and interactive services.
I think Ted is an enthusiast. Any new idea that comes along, Ted is open-minded and generally very supportive. And I think he's very much a go-get-it-done kind of mentality.
Ted and his wife Loretta have been married since 1963. Today, her paintings decorate Rogers headquarters. 2 of the 4 Rogers children are actively involved in the business. Ted Rogers has become Canada's media czar. His colleagues say he brings a touch of class to cable.
The joke about Ted Rogers always was that Ted would wear tails even if he was dining at home alone, so that he had a bit of a formality to him.
Ted gives back to the community. He serves on the Cable Labs board, and he's a leading philanthropist. The Edward S. Rogers Amphitheater stands outside the Cable Center. It will offer shows in the open air because Ted believes the cable industry should always be looking outward. And make no mistake, Ted Rogers has indeed reclaimed the family business.
Ted Rogers is one of the most amazing entrepreneurs in the world. He has really figured out all the successful media businesses in Canada, and in many ways is the envy of all the Americans because he is so successful.
For his entrepreneurial energy and ability to innovate technology, Ted Rogers joins the Cable Television Hall of Fame.